What is up, responsible day traders? Today is Sunday, October 4th, 2020. I'm Lindsay Duff, and this is a reflection of my week with responsible day trading. On Sundays, what I like to do is I like to sit and look at some of the stuff I've done, where I'm continuously making the same mistakes, how I can work around those, what I can do to improve my game. I don't do that just with trading. I do it with my personal life and find different ways to push forward and do better every day. It's important to me to always be learning. I feel like if you're not learning, you're not living. So this is just going to be a quick recap of what happened this week, and we're going to talk a little bit about what we can anticipate for the week ahead. So let's go ahead and check out the daily chart. It's got a little bit of mixed signals, and it has for the last couple of days. So what we see here is we are still below the zero line in the MACDs. That being below the zero line and the fact that the MACDs haven't just shot to the upside tells us that we may pull back again. We do see this happen often. Whenever we have a strong move, it was a big push down, it pulled back up, it hung out at this EMA. So hanging out at this EMA, we may see this price hold off of here and push to the upside, or this may roll down, come back down, and pull back through down to come back down to that next EMA. And when we get to that next EMA, we would have to evaluate what we anticipate to happen and what we may see for the future. For this week, what happened, and remember, we're looking at the last 5 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right in here. So this first bar right here really broke through that EMA and gave a strong push through. So this doesn't look like much, guys, but let me show you something here. The top of this bar is at 33.57.25. The bottom of that bar is at 32.89.25. That is a lot of movement for one day. Our next longest bar, 32.91, with a high around 33.80. So it gave us a lot of stuff to play with and work around with for that day. Whenever it kicks off tonight, we'll see that bar starting to form, that next bar starting to form, getting ready for our next move. Now, things may change by the morning. There's a lot of movement that tends to happen whenever it kicks off, so it'll be interesting to see what it looks like Monday morning. But for now, the direction is still to the upside. We're still above the EMAs. The MACDs had made an attempt to push to the upside, but we didn't break back below the EMAs yet. So the overall direction on my daily chart is still up with the potential to pull back down. I wanted to come back to you for a moment, remind you that I am working on 4 contracts at this time. You know, with my 2 contracts, whenever it would pull down, I would put in 2 more. Well, I plan on doing the same thing with my 4 contracts, but I'm gonna wait until I'm more comfortable and think of it just as I would if I was trading the ES. I wanna have my account build up to a certain amount before I allow myself to put on 4 more contracts and have 8 running at the same time. That's probably gonna be a little bit more of a whew moment for me at times, and I'm gonna have to get used to that, but it is something that I want to bump myself up to on the ES, so I have to keep these in mind. But for now, what I'm doing is just making sure that I've got the 4 contracts down. Once I'm ready, I'm going to move up to 8 contracts. So let's go ahead and check it out, what it looks like just taking 1 entry with 4 contracts. Okay, so my first day trading, Monday, guys, I only took 1 trade. If I'm sitting around a lot throughout the day, I find myself not having a whole lot of trust in it. There was definitely signs that this was going to the upside. Finding these type of pullbacks that I look for to feel more comfortable. It happened right in here. It happened right in here. It even happens a little bit right in here. To take these trades is a patience game. It is a patience game, and it does give you a little bit more oomph behind it to really know that these trades are going to work out for us, or have a lot more confidence that they're going to work out for us. The first trade I took, or the first day I traded, Monday, I only took 1 trade, and I said, phew, that's enough. We're good to go. I did come back the next day and traded. This bit of a pullback was the same kind of look that told me more up, but I just tried to force it. I didn't force it once, I didn't force it twice, but I forced it 3 times. After that first trade didn't work out, there were pretty clear signs that this wasn't going to push down anymore at that exact moment, and I just tried to force it to happen. And when it pulled back in here, that's what I'm talking about, that lovely little pullback that tells us it's going to go up more. It happened. We got the 4 points. Then I was able to take these out. Now, I did move my risk up at this point, and I was just holding on a little bit more and a little bit more, really not expecting this big of a pullback. But if I'm being honest with myself, the MACDs never stopped pulling down. They were just doing it at a very weak level, and I guess I was sitting on hope more than I was really paying attention to what it was telling me it was going to do. It pulls back, comes back again, gave me, these pullbacks are life for the way that I trade. All I'm looking at is patterns, guys. So it gets this pullback, comes back, and then we have the MACD slow down. And guys, remember, there are going to be plenty of other signs on my other charts. I'm not going alone on what this tells me, or I'd be taking a lot of trades that were not going to work out. We got a W pivot here, we got divergence, we got retracement divergence. We had all kinds of signs on all charts that it was time to get out. Now, lately I've been holding these until they pull back and tag it. I really just need to pay attention and get out when it tells me. So let's move on to the next one. So my first trade that I took was a 5-point loss, and it really was giving me the signals that it was starting to pull down. It just popped up higher, and that happens. Really having the distance to go a little bit deeper through the EMAs, and the more we pull away, the better it looks, or the better chances we have for it to push through. It pulled back, and I wasn't going to miss that one. So I took out the first contract with the 4 points. It pulled back. I pulled my risk in just a little bit tight, tagged me with the 3 point for both of those. It was a little frustrating to watch that go, which is probably why I started trying to force it a little bit. There were definitely signs that this wasn't going to follow through. I'm glad I listened to them for the second one. The first one had the point. It came down. It touched my 2-point target, but did not take me out. Pulled back, came back in, and then I wasn't going to miss that one. Took the 2-point target out here, and then I did move my risk in as it was pulling back a little bit more. And the reason I do this is because it's giving me signs that it may not push down, or that it may pull back further, and I don't want to be a part of that. Here's Wednesday. I really thought I was going to be ending my day with 4.5 points. Because I had just been so not paying attention, not in it. I left, I came back, and this one, I could see the reason. I was a little bit late on it. Definitely just trying to force things by the second one. Took a breather and said, hold up, girl, you know what you're doing. Saw my major retracement divergence, got in that trade, took the first exit, second exit. Third one, for some reason with this last one, I'm holding on a little bit longer than I need to be. And so that's something that I'm evaluating. I definitely can eliminate fighting that strength. That's going to help me out. And I need to eliminate moving that risk in with hope instead of taking the exit when it presents itself to me. So at that point, once it took me out here, I did chase this one just a little bit. It gave me a small place to have my risk on the 55 tick chart, which is in a very strong place. It pushed down. I took my 4 points, then I took 2 points. It's on the next one, and then just was moving my risk down and playing a little bit with that 2 tick profit on that last contract. So it got me for 0.5 point. The next one, it pulled back and took me out. Now, this is the one where everything closed out, and it kind of freaked me out a little bit. It closed out, and I just went ahead and let it go just a little bit. As soon as it flinched, I went ahead and took it out and got the 6 points. And then this was my final day. So first one, tried to take it a little too early, took me out with 5 points. When it pulled back and gave me some nice clear signals, we were going to continue up. Took the 4 points, but it also told me that it was going to be snapping back, which it did. So I got out of that one. Couldn't catch it here, did catch it here, chased it just a little bit, took the 4 points. Once again, just moving that risk up. It's telling me it's time to get out. I can actually save a little bit of that profit instead of waiting for it to pull back and stop me out. Here, I wanted to give it one last chance to the downside as it was pulling back into this area. So it took the 4 points and it started to pull back pretty quickly, and I had moved it up to 3 ticks. And actually I hit close on this one once I saw the MACDs starting to pull up. So it does eventually go down. It just went a little bit higher first. I tried to catch it here. There were a couple little spots I tried to catch it here, walked away for about 15 minutes or so, and then did chase this one by just a little bit to get in there. Got the 4 points, 3.5, 4.5 points, which rounded my day out with 23.75 points. And that means a grand total of 59.25 points. That's 21 trades, 8 were losers and 13 were winners, and we're still able to walk away with almost 60 points for the week. It's about a $300 profit when we're looking at the MES, but that's going to be a $3,000 profit when we're looking at the ES. So when we move this back over here, it's going to be a pretty good income coming in there. That's going to wrap that up. That is an in-depth look at the trades that I took, how I was feeling during them, what I was thinking about, and what we're looking at to happen this coming week. I hope that everybody has a wonderful week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And as always, I look forward to catching you on the profitable side. I love y'all being here with me, so please like and subscribe so we can spend a little more time together.